What's going on, guys? This is Road1094 back in talking about Jurassic World Evolution, and that odd humming noise that you hear behind me is my air conditioning because it's freaking hot here. It's unbelievably hot. But we're not talking about the weather. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not Jurassic World Evolution will have a Site B mode. Now, a little bit of background on Site B, aka Isla Sorna. Isla Sorna is how John Hammond described it as the factory floor. Basically, they would breed the animals there and then move them into the main park, which was on Isla Nublar. Well, after the events of Jurassic Park, they basically all moved to Isla Sorna, and a hurricane wiped out the facility on that island. The entire breeding facility was destroyed. They had to evacuate. And in doing so, they left the animals to their own devices. But it turns out that the island had lysine-rich plants, in which case the herbivores were eating them. As Sarah Harding explains to us, the herbivores eat the lysine-rich plants and the carnivores eat the herbivores, which is why they were able to survive all this time. Not only that, but Jurassic Park had what some of us call Gen 1 dinosaurs, in which case they were using frog DNA that allowed a single sex to change into another sex, depending on the environment they were in, which is why the dinosaurs on Isla Nublar were able to breed, and vice versa on Isla Sorna. That's why we see two tyrannosaurs, both a male and a female, with a youngling alongside. It turns out that after the events in San Diego, when the bull runs amok, InGen turned the island into a biological preserve, trying to keep the animals isolated from the rest of humanity, basically. With the help of the Costa Rican and American governments, they restricted the island from human interference. Like it really helped, considering the fact that we got a third movie, which introduced the Spinosaurus, which some believe is a hybrid, one of the first hybrids, but that's a video for another story. However, after that, we don't really hear anything other than the fact that Hoskins was on the quote-unquote cleanup crew that took care of the pteranodon problem. They ended up all the way in Canada, which is one hell of a migration pattern. But it's more than likely those pteranodons were killed. And that's it. Then not only does Jurassic World mention the pteranodons from the third movie, but in the third movie, Grant mentions the San Diego incident, which means Jurassic World is part of all of them. So there's no quarrels about getting rid of the Lost World or Jurassic Park 3. You're going to have to deal with it. It's all one universe. Yeah. But that begs the question, what happened to Isla Sorna? Well, John Hammond turned it into a nature preserve, and then Masrani bought out InGen after John Hammond's death. What did he do with that? Masrani seems like the type of guy that really looked up to Hammond and his ideals. So I highly doubt that he would change it into something other than a biological preserve. He probably left it alone, in which case it's still there, which means it still has the dinosaurs, all just waiting to be, well, just there, I suppose. There's no real reason to go to Isla Sorna other than the fact that now Masrani is dead, which means InGen is now in charge once again. So what does that mean? Well, we found out what happened when InGen tried to take charge of Isla Sorna once before. It didn't go that well. 2 teams were sent in. Both teams, they lost people. I mean, they died. But the thing about it is, InGen realized they couldn't use the island. However, it's still there, and some of us believe that the second movie, Fallen Kingdom, is going to revolve around Isla Sorna and what's going on over there. In Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, there was a game mode that allowed us to basically make our own Site B, and all it was you populate the island with dinosaurs, and you just let them roam. You know, they live out their life until they die, either by dinosaur attack or natural causes. Now, I want to point out the playing as dinosaurs topic that I brought up in a previous video, because personally, I think it could really tie into a Site B mode. Now, there hasn't been anything mentioned about Isla Sorna, other than the fact that we know it's part of the 5 deaths, which is playable. We've already seen one of them, which was Isla Manticeros. We haven't seen any of the others yet. We have no idea what's going to happen with the others. We don't even know if it's going to be the same playthrough on each island. It could be completely different each time around. What we do know is that Isla Sorna is indeed still there, and more than likely still a nature preserve. So where do we go from here? Well, that's just it. We don't know. There is no real discussion on what happened to Isla Sorna after the third movie, and what's going to happen to it in the game. We don't really know. All we do know is it is there, and it's not been used. Not as far as we know. So personally, I think it's a good bet that a Site B mode or something like it could make it into the game, given what Bo Merritt said about the playable dinosaurs thing, which she didn't really say anything, but she alluded to the fact that the idea is being toyed with, maybe just a little bit. And it's my theory that Isla Sorna could possibly be a center stage for a type of game mode, because it played such an integral part in 2 movies other than Isla Nublar, which makes sense considering that the other islands aren't even supposed to be owned by InGen. They have no dinosaurs on them, or at least they're not supposed to. Then again, InGen seem to have a track record of doing things they're not supposed to. So your guess is as good as mine at this point. But yeah, this is just a quick little video on your thoughts and my thoughts, everyone's thoughts about thoughts, on whether or not Site B mode might make it into the game. It's a good bet that it could, given the fact that Isla Sorna is still there, and it's still, as far as we know, a nature preserve. Give me your thoughts on it. You know, tell me what you think. Do you want a Site B mode? Do you hope that Site B is still there? Or do you even hope to see something else? Like playable dinosaurs, for instance. I'm very excited about the possibility of playable dinosaurs. It presents an excellent opportunity for a documentary series on the animals of this game, because as far, from what we've seen, they look great. Their movements, their mannerisms, they look like real animals. Basically, is what they're going for, which is what they're supposed to go for, considering the fact that this game is built off the dinosaurs. The entire franchise is built off the dinosaurs. But yeah, I really look forward to getting some more information on this, possibly in December, because that's when the Fallen Kingdom trailer is supposed to drop. Well, it just seems like a good point to release some more info, or at least give us another teaser trailer. You know, something to tide us over until Fallen Kingdom comes out, which I guess could be the same release date for Jurassic World Evolution. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.